Our stories, our voice, our history hasn't always been welcomed. But we learned long ago that if America won't celebrate us, then we will celebrate our own, told our way, on our time. Today we have thousands of Black creators in film. Thousands of books are on the shelves of stores around the world. But it wasn't always as easy. For Lena, for Hattie, for James, for Zora, for Langston, we fought for a place in American history, and we've empowered our own voices, keeping our stories alive. Remember Philando, remember Mike, remember Trayvon, remember Sandra, remember Oscar, remember Brianna. No more will Black voices go unheard. No more will Black stories go unread. We will write our own history and create our own legacies. And each summer in Atlanta, we will gather. We will celebrate. We speak out. Black voices matter. Black stories matter. Black lives matter. Everybody has a story to tell. Make sure that you tell yours. Create your story. Dream out loud. It all starts with a spark. Like this thought or this vision in your head that gives you these ideas and these visions of who you want to be. And I can remember myself sitting in my room, writing in my journal about stories and characters of people I had no idea who they were. And I just knew that that's who I was going to be. I was going to write books. I was going to move to Atlanta, and I was going to become this big-time authoress. And I did that. I got the awards. I got the bestsellers list. I met some phenomenal people, and I've helped other people dream out loud. I think that when it comes down to dreaming, it's more than about just getting it done. It's about having fun and enjoying life while you do it. So y'all dream out loud with me. Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me? I hope you guys can hear me perfectly. But you guys are joined with us we're going to be live streaming a workshop basically a webinar today where we're going to be talking about literary truth. It is powered by the AAMBC's online reading group called The Ink. It will be hosted by myself as well as Miss Phoenix Williams, which is also a national bestselling author, as well as publisher, literary consultant, ghostwriter, screenwriter, all those great, beautiful, extraordinary things. I'm going to bring her in. Miss Phoenix.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty swell. I'm over here trying to get a snack at the same time, so I'm slightly unprofessional, but we're going to roll with it.
It's okay. It's a casual conversation.
Yes, it's all we're going to do is have a casual conversation about truth on the direction you should take as a literary artist. Yep. And I'm very skilled in that area.
Yes, very much so.
So if you guys are looking at the screen, you see we have our title page here. And I am going to take us through a various slideshows that we're going to talk about ghostwriting, editing, and literary consulting. Am I correct, Queenie?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, cool beans. I was freestyling that part. All right, so who am I? My name is Tamika Newhouse, you guys. I'm a best-selling author, award-winning author, and recently I'm also a filmmaker, award-winning filmmaker. That is what's called. I'm also the owner of the Delphi Legacy Media and Delphi Publications, and I'm responsible for publishing over 300 titles.
Yes. And I am Phoenix. My resume is not as long, but I've written, oh gosh, a million books. What is it now? 22, 23?
Oh my God, is it?
Yeah, we're up there. We are up there. I'm a best-selling, award-nominated author. I'm a literary consultant, ghostwriter, all around fun time.
And she stay busy, y'all. She really does what she do. Side note, Phoenix, am I playing somewhere on your end? Because there's some playback. Like it's an echo. Why is there an echo when we are talking? Okay, well, we're going to try it. All right, so you can see my screen, right, where it says Phoenix Williams?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me keep going. All right, so Fizz, I'm gonna let you take the lead. Let us know what we're doing today.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about ghostwriting, literary consulting, mentoring. Um, Out here, especially right now with it being Nano, today's the first day of Nano, so happy Nano to everybody.
Yes, happy National Writing Day.
there is a there are a bunch of people out here with a lot of services who would like to sell you these services, and a lot of times I get authors in my inbox like, I just don't know which one to go with. Which one do you think I should do, or if I need these, and what should I look out for? So we decided to go ahead and give you guys a free webinar on things that you should look out for, pros and cons to each of these things. So these are the three biggest services outside of marketing. When we're talking just about writing itself, then yeah, the
Mhm.
ghostwriting, literary consulting, and mentoring are three of the biggest. So we're gonna go over those, give you a few things you should know, and then we'll do a Q&A.
All right, let's get it. So, ghostwriting. I am going to lead the way in that. So, what is it in short? It's when someone employs an author or writer to create an original manuscript. However, there are many levels to ghostwriting. Partial ghostwriting is when you've created part of the manuscript already, and the ghostwriter will follow your outline and create the rest of the book while mimicking your writing voice. Standard ghostwriting is the ghostwriter will create your manuscript based on your outline. And full ghostwriting is you will give the ghostwriter the idea and they will create an outline manuscript for you. So let's dive a little bit into each one of those levels.
Yes. Now, partial, you don't really see that happen too often. Normally, it happens with more established authors who just have too much on their plate.
Right.
So you'll go ahead and write half a book, and then you realize you got a whole nother series you need to work on. Your publisher needs it right now. So you will employ someone to go ahead and finish it. And that's usually more of a time issue that you have. So you will give the ghostwriter a full detailed outline, complete with reference pictures. You'll give them what you have already, and then they'll go ahead and finish it while mimicking your style so it sounds just like you. But that's very rare to
Mhm.
see these days. Um, Now, standard ghostwriting is much more popular. Um, the ghostwriter is going to create something based on a detailed outline. And I'm going to say that a million times throughout this little section because you have to have a very detailed outline if you want someone to create your vision. So you need to have reference pictures for not only the characters but the setting. Every single scene needs to be broken down. Time of day, where it's set, who's in it. Is it first person POV? Is it third? Is it past tense? Is it present tense? Is it first person switching? All these things they have to know because they're taking what you have created in your outline, actually bringing it to life for you. Now, full ghostwriting is popular as well, but it's much more expensive than the other two because someone has to take one little idea that you had and make it into something tangible. So they have to make an entire story Bible for you. You have to sign off on it. Then they'll go ahead and they'll write the book based on the outline that you signed off on. So that one takes a lot more time and it's going to be more expensive.
And not only that, I know you guys have heard the saying that you get what you pay for. And even though the full process is more expensive, it does give you that extra security. And also, it's guaranteed where you will kind of receive fully what it is that you need. I often kind of try to remind writers that you can be as hands on with this project as much as possible. But when you acquire a ghostwriter, if you do not technically know how to tell a story, then it does make sense for you to allow someone to come in and write that story because they're going to actually ask you questions and direct your thoughts in ways that you have not actually imagined. And for the most part, writing is an art form. So this is why people don't, when they get into this process, they do not connect or even understand how in depth it actually has to be. during that process. So they just know that what you invest in this process is what you'll kind of get out of it.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about some pros.
Yes, it's less work. Okay, you're gonna be signing off on stuff and going about your business. You will control how things are written, and that's always a plus. Okay, now I hear an echo.
Ooh, hold on.
Okay, it takes less time for editing and proofreading because you do have someone who is experienced. Well, you should have picked someone, let's clarify, that who is experienced. They won't have so many errors, and they should be able to write in a way where they're kind of self-editing. Um, and when you go to editing, you go to proofreading, you won't really need a developmental edit. You can just go straight into copy editing. That'll take less time, and proofreading, which will take less time as well. You're going to decide the level of experience you want your ghostwriters to have. So, like Tamika said, you're going to get what you pay for. So, if someone is offering to ghostwrite a book for you for $500, you're going to get a $500 worthy book. Okay. If that person's probably not very experienced in the ghostwriting, they probably just started. Maybe they do have a few books under their belt, and they're going to go ahead and try their hand at ghostwriting. So they're probably at the beginning, and that's why it is $500. As opposed if you got someone who was, you know, um, a bunch of books out, all bestsellers, they're award nominated, all those things. They're going to be more expensive. Okay, so you are going to get what you pay for in terms of the ghostwriter, and also it's completely confidential. One thing that was number one in ghostwriting is you do not talk about the clients. You do not tell who you are writing for. That's a big no. You don't talk about that.
Yep, can't do it. The hint word is ghost. So your ghostwriter is really not supposed to be revealing who they are actually writing for. And then also, even when it comes to the actual publication of your project, it's up to your discretion if you want to mention that you had a co-writer on your project. It's really not necessary. It's up to you. All right, some more cons. It is expensive. The average ghostwriting job can run you about $600 for a partial, $2,500 for a standard, and $4,000 for full. And these are really, for me, low numbers. They could be slightly higher than that. Minimum, I could see someone ghostwriting a project of $1,500 minimum. At least that's what I would charge. And then you'll have a lot of writers where it can range anywhere from, as it's stated here, 4,000 upward into 10, 20, 30. Really depends on the type of client that they're currently working with, and also depends on the experience of the writer. Again, I'm gonna have to go back to writing being an art form. So if you're acquiring a writer, it means they're an artist. And depending on how skilled and experienced they are in their artistry, they can really tack on a certain price for that. So you wouldn't charge your homeboy that lived next door to you that create beats off his laptop the same price that you would charge like a John Legend, because he's experienced. He has clout, he has resources, he has the knowledge and the know-how. So it really just determines who you're actually acquiring to be your ghostwriter. And if you want to create a sequel, you'll need to contract the same ghostwriter. Now, that is really important. So you have to really understand the type of writer that you're working with. They need to be talking with you like via conversations, connecting with you, understanding you, making sure they're matching and connecting with your voice. Because just because someone can write a story does not mean they can write yours. So it's very important to interview these people, have a conversation with them, make sure that you are connecting with them just on a regular, back and forth level. Make sure they understand your life. Make sure they understand your culture, because that is also going to be very, very important when it comes to developing your story.
Absolutely. One thing that I really want to stress is that if you are going to have someone ghostwrite your first book, and then you want to put out a sequel. Readers are not stupid people, okay? They will be able to tell there is a huge difference between that first book and that second book. So make sure that when you pick your ghostwriter, that you, like Tamika said, have a conversation and you're able to work with this person. And even though they might be more expensive, that you connect with them and they have a time frame. You also have to understand when it comes to pricing how the times of year influence the pricing changes. So if I'm ghostwriting a project, I want to charge you more during Nano because I'm writing my own books and I got to take time from my own projects to write yours. And so I'm going to charge you more, just like people will charge more in the summer because that's time they could be on vacation and they're going to be writing your book. So you do have to pay for this person's time, their experience, and their art form. So just keep that in mind as well.
All righty. And let's go into who is ghostwriting for.
So ghostwriting is for those who really, really want to be an author, but they just do not have the time to learn how to do it. Tamika has said many times that this is an art form. You're not going to just hop out on your first time and get it, So either you will learn by trial and error or you'll just hire someone to do it for you. For those who have a book idea, but you're struggling with the actual writing of that book idea. If you started a book and you don't have time to finish it, ghostwriting is the hobby for you. And then also, if you're short on time, skill, and inspiration, but you really want to have author next to your name, ghostwriting is for you.
Oh, so before we go into literary consulting, because that's going to be our next subject, ghostwriting is pretty, and if you do have questions, please feel free to post them in the comments so that we can post them up on our screen here and respond to those to you guys in real time. If you are watching this in playback, if you're watching the playback of this, tweet us at AAMBCINK, which is AAMBC Inc. on Instagram as well as Twitter, and then we will respond to you in real time as well too. So to conclude on ghostwriting, this is someone who is an artist. They are talented with words. They're craftsmen at storytelling. They're going to connect with you, develop a vision on how you want to tell your story, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. And from that process, you guys kind of work together almost like a buddy system where you're reading their work, providing them feedback, and they're ensuring that they're capturing exactly what it is that you want to convey. So let's move on to literary consulting.
Literary consulting, that's my bread and butter. So I will go ahead and leave this conversation. All right. So what is it? Literary consulting is a service that's offered by other authors, okay, to other authors. All right. So during the 2-month period, author A will walk you through outlining and writing your manuscript, okay? The consultant does not write your book. Okay, that's not what we are here to do. We are here to help you make your project better. So you want to think of your consultant as your own personal trainer. So things that you would do is like if you were my client, I would say, okay, write chapter 1 and send it to me, and then I would read chapter 1 and I would give you detailed notes. This criticism and all the notes are not going to be fluff. They're not going to be given to you on a bed of roses. They are going to be straight to the point, okay? Because I'd rather you hear from me than to see it in Amazon reviews, okay? So I will go ahead and I would tell you what's wrong with it, and then we would meet and I would show you how to fix it. Whether that's your world building, your dialogue, your pacing, your characterization, your writing style. If you're switching tenses, if you're switching your point of view from third person to first person to second, which happens a lot. All those things, your consultant is going to break down and show you how to fix, and they will teach you how to do it.
That was broken down really, really well. And I think this is really good for someone who technically wants to learn a little bit more about writing or really wants to feel like these are their words, just to have someone shadow you, guide you, critique you on your writing. So that's working out pretty good. All right, so let's talk about the pros of literary consulting.
So with literary consulting, unlike if you're doing this all by yourself, there's no trial and error because someone's going to show you that you're doing it wrong. They're going to tell you before you put this book out. You're going to get a detailed industry insider's view of how to create a book. So the person who you have as your consultant should be someone who is actively in the industry, who is actively putting books out and is actively selling. Because if they are not, they're missing what's trending right now, what's the new thing that's happening in the literary world. You're going to get the feeling of accomplishment by making your own book while still having professional help. You're going to have someone who's going to hold you accountable, and you're going to receive detailed notes and detailed teaching. And it is less expensive than ghostwriting. The average cost is $250 to $600 per month. But it depends on the level of consulting you have as well.
This is true. So let's talk about those cons, because of course there are always cons to the pros, but not too many as you can see.
There's only three cons, but it's more on a emotional level. A lot of critique in a short amount of time. You're going to get hit with a lot of criticism all at once, based on your book. And I understand that you are an artist and you are sensitive about your work, but your literary consultant is here to break that book apart and to help you put it back together. Now, the average contract does last 8 weeks. You are locked in for 8 weeks. After that, you can go ahead and decide if you're going to continue with the consulting. And it is a lot of intense work. You are going to be doing something every week. You're going to be either outlining every single week, writing, rewriting, learning, doing little exercises. These are all things you're going to be doing every single week.
Now, who is literary consulting for?
Quick learners. Got to be quick on the draw. You have to learn really, really quickly because we're going to only have 7 days for each lesson. Okay, so try to sign up for literary consulting if you know you have the time for it. If you can take criticism well, then definitely go ahead and do literary consulting. If you can your own, work on your own under tight time constraints, and then those who have a clear idea of what they are writing. If you are unsure of what you're writing, how you want your book to go, then you might want to wait a while and maybe take like an outlining course or something of that nature before you sign up for literary consulting, because you're going to kind of be wasting not only your time but the consultant's time for 8 weeks if you come in with a memoir but halfway through now you want to write a fictional adventure tale.
I before we go on to mentoring, what are some things as far as from a consultant's point of view? What do you like about that process on consulting writers on their manuscripts?
I love to see them grow. You get someone who comes in who's not very confident, who is very unsure of what they're doing and how to do it, but then watching them grasp concepts like show versus tell, or watching them self correct when they are doing the switching tenses, seeing how they are able to set a scene perfectly when before they were like, it's sunny, and that's not really setting the scene. Watching them grow as creatives is always, a good thing. And then having them put their book out and it does well.
Mm-hmm. I have actually watched you work with your clients, and I think what's beautiful about your process is you actually care, and there really is you have a process, but you do approach it uniquely depending on whoever the writer is, and I think that's what's really important when it comes to ghostwriting literary consulting or mentoring is making sure that the person offering you these services is connecting to you. They're understanding your journey and your path, and they're helping to create some direction for you, not something generic, not something tangible that you're just passing out to everyone generally, but someone that's really truly connected to what you're doing.
Absolutely. No two clients are the same. I haven't the consulting I did for client A is completely different than what I did for client B, which is also completely different from client M. These everybody is different, every book is different, and people all learn differently. And so
Hmm.
you go into when you meet with your literary consultant for the first time, they should have a general plan of how things are going to go, but you should also know that that plan is definitely going to change after week one. Because if you are struggling with one certain concept, we're going to have to work on that.
Yep. All right, cool beans. Let's move into mentoring. And we both can kind of dive into this subject matter too, because we both have our processes and how we mentor and encourage new writers. So when it comes, no, what is it? It's when one person provides guidance, influence, support, and encouragement. For authors, mentoring can focus on several areas or one specific one. The pros of that, you can get advice in all areas of the industry from marketing to publishing to covers. You have someone to hold you accountable. You have access to someone more established in the industry and it's least expensive options. So this is how I like to dive into the pros as well when it comes to a mentor. A mentor is someone who's done it all, been there, done it, got that t-shirt, and now they are guiding you on helping you to make a better journey, not a perfect one. Your mentor is not about to solve all of your issues. They are not a genie that's about to make the impossible happen. Your mentor is not someone who has built their career and made it. And now you're hoping to rub shoulders with them to get their resources. This is not what mentoring is for, folks. Ooh, let me breathe. That was a long sentence. Mentoring, mentoring is really, like you said, I'm sorry, like it says here, having an accountability partner, someone that's going to highlight when you have done something that is not quite resourceful, that's not leading you in the right direction when it comes to your writing career. Even if you don't fully understand something, if you're trying to discover a tactical plan, if you want to know if this is a good event for you to go to, even down to organizing your day, being structured in your day, being disciplined in your day, your mentor will help you with technical things when it comes to your career, but also mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They are there to help you understand your journey and also find those keys and those ways for you to continue moving forward during your process.
Absolutely. I completely agree. They are not there to say, okay, here's how you do step A through Z. Okay. When you sign up for mentoring, usually you're trying to find someone who career whose career you want to kind of emulate, right? Or whose career you would like to, or position you would like to be in. But you have to understand that your journeys are going to be different, even though your destination might be the same. And so if you're coming into mentoring hoping that you're able to do the exact same steps that that person did to get to where they are, is you're coming in with the wrong mindset. When I meet with a new mentee and they say, "Okay, Phoenix, I want to do exactly what you did," I tell them that's not going to work because I started back in 2012. The things that were popping back in 2012
Right.
are popping right now in 2021. Okay, we didn't have all the resources back then. Marketing was different. You know, sales were different. Kindle was just now starting to become mainstream back then. People still wanted the paper books. They still wanted the hard
Hmm.
copies. That's completely different than what it is now. So you cannot follow the exact same steps. But what I can do is I can guide you with what's happening now in the industry and help you avoid some potential pitfalls.
That was good. That was well stated. Let's go into the cons. Now, the cons of mentoring is you do a lot of work on your own. Which for me, I really, really like because I'm more of a hands-on learner. And also you really perfect and kind of it builds a repetition and memory when you actually are hands-on with it. And the mentor is there to offer guidance. They're not really going to give you detailed notes, although some really could, but you are not a child that's learning how to walk for the first time. They're going to point you in a direction. It's up for you to do the push, the grunt work. And then also depending on how you're working with your mentor, they may be watching you from afar, seeing how devoted you're being, seeing if you're actually actively taking your advice, seeing if you're really putting yourself in positions for you to be seen, for you to build and connect those relationships. And they will help you along the way. If you have connected with the mentor who is really devoted to making sure that mentees are successful, they do not mind sharing information. They do not mind mentioning your name in rooms that you are not a part of. That is one of the beautiful things about having a mentor that believes in you versus having a mentor that you're paying a service for their brain or time.
Yes, absolutely. The
So
literary
make sure,
consultant,
like,
I'm not gonna mention you in the room, because
yeah,
but if you're my mentee, and I really believe in what you're doing, then heck yeah. When I have an opportunity,
yep,
I always email my mentees like, yo, you need to get on this. This is happening here. I told them to be expecting the email, So those are the kind of things you get with a mentor.
yep. And those really are the type of mentors that you want, but and those tend to be a little bit more costly because that means they really are connected. They have those relationships that they don't have that crab in the barrel mentality where they don't want to offer up this or say that because they don't want you to surpass you. These are really people that's confident in their position, they're successful in their role, they're also consistent in it. And by mentioning you, they already know that you are enhancing their network, because if their network is full of movers and shakers, then they can continue to move and shake. So hopefully that makes sense. So you got to make sure you're with a really
Absolutely.
good mentor that's not, stingy on those ends, and also that will help you elevate past those technicalities of, learning how to market, brand, be disciplined, things like that. So let's move forward. Now, who is mentoring for?
It's for
Mentor.
a self starter. You need
Okay.
to. The mentor is not going to tell you, okay, tomorrow at 9 a.m., you need to be
Yep.
up and say your affirmations and brush your teeth and get in the shower, do your hair, and get to writing. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to say, hey, this month, you should probably work on marketing and you should do these three things for marketing. And it's up to you to go ahead and do them. If you need general guidance, okay, so someone who is going to be able to offer you, a broad sense of writing, marketing, publishing, and you're able to take that and then go ahead and do your own research on top of that, add it to their advice, and then go ahead and run off with it. So I usually recommend mentoring for authors that have released a book. If you're a first time author, and you might be tempted to go for a mentor when really you need a literary consultant or really you need ghostwriting. And
Yep.
so me mentoring you is not going to do anything but make you sad and make me mad. So you need to sign up for the service that you actually need.
Yep. I would concur. All right, so let's go into a few things that you should know.
All right, so let's start with the ghostwriting. Um, how many books has that author ghostwritten before? You need to ask them that. And they're not going to tell you who they're for, but they can give you a number. You know what I mean? Um, you also need to ask them, will they create a detailed outline for you? Because most ghostwriters, like myself, I will charge you extra for this. Make sure they give you an approval plan. So what an approval plan is during our first meeting, I will let you know, okay, I'm going to do your outline. I'll have it to you by this date. You need to approve it by this date. And then I will work on the first third of your book and have it to you by this date. And you need to approve it by this date. And I'll do the exact same thing for the second, third, and then the final product. And that approval plan keeps us both on track because a lot of times with ghostwriting, where things get held up, it's not the ghostwriter. it's you, because you haven't read the entire book yet. You haven't gone through it yet because you're busy. You got life going on, and so we're waiting for your approval. And 4 months has passed, and the book's still not done. They're waiting for
Right.
you to approve something. So you need to make sure that they give you a approval plan that you agree with it. And that before you decide on ghostwriting, you have to accept that the book will not be written by you. So it will not have your voice or your thoughts unless you're going with a partial ghostwriting plan. If you're going with a full or a standard, it's not going to be your voice. It's not going to be your thoughts in there. It's going to be your ghostwriters. Okay? And they're going to try to mimic you and how you feel and how you think and what you would like in this book. But you have to understand it's not going to be written the exact way, exact wording, exact sentence structure that you would like because you did not write it.
Hmm. Great advice. Really, really good advice. Let's keep on going with a few things that you should know. Before selecting literary consulting, understand that every portion of your manuscript will be critiqued. So you definitely have to have some tough skin and willing to do the work to correct whatever it is needs to be corrected. Now, your consultant should be from a reputable service. Did I say that right?
I say reputable, but I've heard reputable. Either way, it's
All
fine.
right, bet. Okay, well, we're going to roll with it. Get a list before signing the contract of what you'll be consulted on. So pretty much make sure you understand exactly what it is you're paying for. Make sure your consultant gives you a general plan of your time together. Do not guess what is expected of you, and do not guess when you guys are going to be meeting up. And not every consultant is the same. So the more experienced and acclaimed the consultant is, the bigger the costs. Anything to add on to that?
I just want to stress the importance of making sure you understand what you're going to be getting, because I get a lot of times in the beginning, when we go over this with my clients, I'll tell them, okay, with literary consulting, here's everything we're going to do. And they're like, well, what about marketing? That's not this. That's not what you're trying to sign up for. Literary consulting is just about this book. If you want to talk about marketing, we can do that too. That'd be a whole different thing. That's not part of this. So you need to make sure you understand what it is you're signing up for. And during your initial call with the consultant, when you're trying to get more information about who they are and all of that, they should be able to answer those questions and let you know.
Mm-hmm. And continue on things that you should know when it comes to mentoring.
Okay, so before you get a mentor, please research them. Find out about their highs, their lows, the failures, and their successes. You want to know it all, especially when it comes to their failures, because those are the lessons that they're going to be able to teach you about how not to do this. Okay. So you want to look at all those things. Not every mentor is free. That's a common misconception out here. Is that, well, if you want to mentor me, it'll be free. Let me just say this plain as day. You go looking for the mentor. The mentor is not going to look for you. Okay. The more acclaimed the mentor is, the more likely you'll have to pay a fee, because no one's time is free. Every person who is at the top of their game, who is out there really doing something, they are busy people, and so they're going to charge you a fee. It may be small, it may be big, depending on who they are and what they're trying to teach you, especially when they are very successful. And then mentorship is a collaboration and should be paid on a month by month basis, because just like you can fire a mentor can and will fire you as well.
Yep, this is true. And we are good for doing that. Definitely Legacy Media is a media company that helps writers brands themselves and also develop their brand. We do literary consulting, we do publishing, event curation, so forth and so forth, business formation, anything that you can think of. But if you are not doing your part, and we do ask things of you because this is a partnership, we will drop you a line. We'll give you some warnings. We'll talk these things through. We'll hop on the phone. but we do not like to chase our clients. This is your success. This is your journey. You are paying us for a service. We want you to be successful. But if you are not doing your part, then ultimately the project of whatever it is that we're working on is not going to be at its best. That is a bad reflection on everyone involved. So make sure that you're really, really, you're ready and you're willing to put in the work and communicate with those that you hire. Let's do some Q&A
Absolutely.
if there are some questions. Are there some questions
You always have a song in your heart.
in the chat room? Oh, yeah. Are there some questions? All right. So if you do not have any questions right now and you're still trying to process if you should receive ghostwriting, literary consulting, or mentoring, you can always contact us at our website, which is Delphine Legacy Media. That's DELPHINE, legacymedia.com. Again, and you kind of see at the very bottom, we're mentioning our film festival, but you can always get in touch with us through that. My social media is also now streaming at the very bottom, which is at Tamika Newhouse. You can always get in touch with me that way as well. And also anything that says AAMBC Inc. on social media. Send us your questions and we will respond to you in real time. That way you can have an idea on the direction that you would like to go. And Phoenix, for those that want to learn more about you, also perhaps want to hop on the phone. They have some questions to see if you're the right consultant and writer for you. Let them know, where can they find you? How can they follow you and all that jazz online?
Okay, so if you need to find me on Instagram, where I am the majority of the time, it is at Phoenix Williams Books. And then Twitter, it is Phoenix underscore William, no S on the end because someone stole that name from me. And and then also one thing that I do want to mention is I get this question a lot in my inbox is what if you haven't started writing the book yet, but you still need help? A class that would be good for you is the outline clinic. I am in the middle of doing our fall session right now, and one of the ladies who's already outlining has gotten a publishing deal. She hasn't even written the book yet. It's just based on the outline that I helped her create. So good for you, Renee. As for the next one, it is in January after I come back from vacation. So, yes, if you need help with anything, you guys can reach out to me or you can email me at phoenixwilliamsbooks@gmail.com.
All right. All right. My thingy is tripping. I was trying to show up the graphic for some of our classes coming up. But if you go to aambcinc.com, you'll be able to see any of our classes that's coming up, whether they're virtual or anything that's coming up in person. We also have our Black Fridays Weekend Festival that is going to be coming up next August. So make sure you go to blackfridaysweekend.com to learn more information about that. And then we will be back here next month with more webinars, more author conversations, more amazing books that we're going to be talking about. But yes, make sure you are subscribed to our website at aambcinc.com. And then we will make sure to get you guys connected with anything that you guys are trying to do. All right. So again, if you have questions, hop on social media, send those things over to us. Phoenix, thank you so much for hopping on the call with me today, going
Oh,
over
no problem.
ghostwriting, literary consulting, and mentoring. I hope you guys have answered you guys' questions and you guys be blessed. Continue to be awesome and all that beautiful stuff.
Okay.